Hey everyone, it's Jason. Today we're going to unbox the base set for the Epic card game. This is a fairly unique, different card game. I'm going to get out of the way right away. It's going to draw a lot of comparisons just to Magic the Gathering, being one of the most prevalent card games out there. But there's some very interesting differences, which make this its own unique game. First and foremost is when you buy a box, every single box is going to have the exact same cards in it. It's going to have 120 cards. It's got 4 different types. What is it? It's Evil, Good, Wild, and Sage. And it's, so far, I think of every single set, they haven't added any other colors or alignments. So it's just those 4. But every single box or booster pack or deck you buy is always going to have the exact same card. So there's no collecting like random packs. That's one unique aspect of this game, which a lot more things are going like the living type card game aspect. But other than that, this is also like you make your own constructed deck. So you start off here, you get 4 decks, 1 for each color. You can definitely just pick up one color and play, but you can also make your own decks by mixing and matching them all. So then what you do is that each player starts with a 30 card deck, so there's 4 different decks. So you just pick up one of the 4 colors and just play as it. And as you get familiar or you buy more sets, you can always add more in different colors. Start with 30 health. Anytime you take damage, you lose your health and you die. It doesn't come with any sort of counters or anything like that. You have to keep track of that stuff yourself. You start with 5 cards, and there's a mulligan rule, which is actually kind of fun too. So after drawing your opening hand, may choose any number of cards to put on the bottom of the deck, then lose that much health. So you gotta decide what you have. But like, here's your basics of all your cards. So the one other thing that's very interesting about this game is that every card you're gonna gain 1 gold. I think every card is either going to cost 1 gold or be free. So we're going to, like up in the corner, so say 1 gold, or it'll be 0 and it'll say it's free. On your turn, anything that costs 0, you can play it. If it costs 1 gold, you can spend your 1 gold to play one of your 1 gold cards, and that's all you can play for that. You can still play all your other 0 cost cards. So you can end up playing all 5 of your cards, or you might end up only be able to play 1, depending on what's in your hand or what's available for you. And then down here, let's say like alignment. There's 2 types of cards. There's events and there's champions. So that's some of the big differences. As that's what there is. You get no mana resources. You don't have to keep track of any of that. So you can play a card for free, or you can spend your 1 gold you've earned. It's very possible that some of the later sets, I don't think there's anything in the base game that does it, but there are later sets that might let you get more gold somehow, so you could play more than 1 card, but that's sort of where the balance is. It's sort of like regular cards and powerful cards. The other difference is the, so here's a picture of a champion. This is one of your creatures. You have your attack and your defense amount, which is what you just compare to when you're doing battles. Your attack to your opponent's defense, and defense back to the opponent. If you defeat them, they're done. This is actually supposed to be a fairly quick style game. So because you play cards, you do attacks, next player's turn. Since you don't have, a ton of mana resource and you don't have mana screwed, you shouldn't generally get bogged down not being able to play cards. There are going to be combos and stuff like that, definitely. It's like a simple to learn, hard to master type game. Yeah, so playing cards, so play a card, pay its cost 0 or the 1 gold, put it face up, and it says no one can respond to you otherwise or interfere with your playing cards. That's the other thing. It doesn't have the stack that Magic the Gathering has. So if I want to play a card, I can just look at my hand and decide to play a card without having to worry about necessarily my opponent doing something to stop me from playing it. There's an event card, which is like one-time use and it goes away. And then your champions have, now they have to use all these alternate terms because Wizards of the Coast and Magic own stuff like tapping and that, so they call it deploying. So turn your player comes in, they can't use their powers, they can't, they can't tap or turn sideways to use their abilities on the first turn, or they can't attack. So it's, it's like summoning sickness type thing. But they do have powers that let you turn them sideways, continuous abilities, triggered abilities, stuff like that. Yeah, this book isn't very... It explains the rules, but it would be neat if it had pictures. I always like pictures. But yeah, so they have your positions. You have prepared, so if they're vertical, they're ready to go to attack, block, use powers. If they're expanded, you turn them sideways. So this way they're ready to go, this way they're expanded, they've been used. Once they've been attacking or using a power with the little arrow symbol, expends them. So you can't attack or block or use it again. And then if you block, you actually flip them upside down to show that they've been blocked, so you can't block with them a second time. So that means, so it's just timing. And then at the beginning of your turn, you flip everything back to the correct position. And it just helps to keep track of which direction everything's been. So yeah, your turn. Both players lose any gold. If they had any, they gain 1 gold. And they just state it that way so that you can't amass gold every turn. So if you don't spend your 1 gold, you can't save it up to like turn 5 and have 5 gold and drop a bunch of cards. So you may as well play your 1 gold every turn. Unless for some reason you really don't want to. Draw a card, play cards, and then go to the battle phase. The other player may play events and powers. So you can play events and powers on another player's turn. You just can't do it in response to somebody else's action. So if I'm playing a champion out, I don't have to worry about my opponent playing something to stop me. Like, I play it, it's going to come in, go to the field, I can do whatever its effects are, and then my opponent could play an event after that that might get rid of it, but they can't do anything to it while it's coming into play. Yeah, so it's generally the only person who can play cards, use powers on your turn. There's no responding. The only times you're allowed to play events and powers is when your opponent attacks you. So if they attack you, you can play an event to try and do something against that. After you've blocked, so maybe after you block, you can do something, or when they're trying to end their turn. So you can't just do it in the middle of their stuff either. And the battle phases are pretty simple. Choose an attacker, or multiple attackers. And then the defender may play any number of powers or events, and then pass. So yeah, you choose your attacker, the attacking player can then play their events and powers. Then the defender can choose, and then it goes back to B. So it goes back and forth until neither player wants to play anything else. Then defender chooses whichever character they want to block with. Does the same thing, then it goes back and forth, they can play stuff. And you might say it sounds like a lot of rules. Magic the Gathering does the exact same thing. It's just when you sit down to play, you're more or less just like, I attack that guy, attack that, and if nobody wants to do anything, you just keep moving forward. This just breaks it all down. And then the damage step, no one may play cards during the damage step. Simultaneously deal damage. Okay, the player who controls the champion decides where the damage is dealt. They may split it however they like. So you have one damage phase, though, so you have to choose to attack with everybody, and then they can decide where they want to defend with. It's not a game of like, I'm going to attack with this guy, let me see what you do, okay, and I'm going to attack with that guy, now let's see what you do. You have to choose everything at once, and then the defender can decide where they want to go. And then the end phase, you can do end of turn triggers. All damage removed from champions, so if you can't defeat them in one turn, they're done. And then there's a little keywords in there. alignment mentions the colors. Airborne, which is their flying, can be blocked by their airborns. Ally abilities can only be triggered when you play a gold card of the listed element. Ambush allows you to place stuff during your opponent's turn. I'm not going to expect anyone to remember all these. So there's Banish, which is exiling a card to the bottom of its owner's deck. So it just gets rid of it, but it goes back in there. Then Blitz is so they can play right away. Break is an interesting thing in this game. So a broken card is put in the owner's discard pile. A champion is broken if it takes damage equal to or greater than its. So if a card is defeated or it dies, it's called breaking it. There are a lot of cards in here that'll say something like this one. It says, loyalty to break all other champions. This guy comes in, he just straight up destroys everything. And that's what keeps the game moving, so you're not amassing a ton of characters every turn. Deploying, expand. So that card also said loyalty to. When a champion with loyalty to enters play, you may reveal 2 cards of that champion's alignment in your hand. You do gain its effect after the arrow. And a tribute is when a champion with a tribute play, you may gain the effect listed after the arrow. So, if we look at a card like this, it has a bunch of these. So this Angel of Light has Airborne, can only be attacked by other Airborne characters. Ambush, which means you can play it during your opponent's turn, during one of them times. Tribute, when it comes into play, you can gain 5 health. And Loyalty 2, if you reveal 2 other light cards, you gain 5 health. So, although you can mix and match every single color, the more diluted, the less loyalty abilities you'll get to use. So there's also something to keep in mind there. Recall, recycle. To recycle, you may banish 2 cards in your discard pile if you do draw a card. Righteous will let you gain health. And they have tokens, unblockable, unbanishable, untargetable, and unbreakable. So then one last quick thing before we start jumping into what these cards look like is they have different ways to play. So sealed 2 to 4 or 5 to 8 with 2 sets. So this is just pick up your card, go. You can do a draft. You can mix the cards up and have to actually draft your cards. It's just kind of fun. So everyone gets a mixture of it. You don't know what you're going to get. An open draft with 2 players. Epic cube draft, which you can do if you have 3 packs. And then there's constructed, which is pre-constructed. Again, just picking up the decks that are already existing. Or fully constructed. So each player builds their own deck, brings it into play. So this also says, for each 0 card of an alignment, the deck must contain at least 2 1-cost cards of the same alignment. So if you have 7 0-cost Sage or blue cards, you must have 14 1-cost ones. That's just so you can't play an entire deck of just 0 cards, or you can't just throw in some random high level like cards from another alignment. And then there are multiplayer rules you can play. Free for all, hunters, team multiplayer, and stuff like that. And I'm sure they expand on more of this in the later stuff. So let's look at these cards. So that I have them sorted out right now by alignment, but I have them mixed between the different types. So here's our back of our cards. Just going to show off the 4 different symbols or colors. Alright, so here's our Angel of Light. So I'm not going to sit here and continually mention it's what class it is. So it's a good class. It's an Angel Champion. So all cards right now I'm going through are all going to be good, because we're going through the good alignment. So they're going to be a champion or an event. And then each champion will have its own type. And they mix and match between different ones. And I don't recall. There's a couple in here that there are some cards that refer to the its race, I guess is what I can call it. But usually they're the main 4, which are the tokens are based off of. And again, I'm sure later expansions will add more into that, so you can maybe try and mix and match decks to create more characters that go together. Alright, and then... So this has 5 health, or 5 attack, 6 health. I'm not sure what the little orb in the bottom means. It might have something to do with, for like, maybe multiplayer, maybe you can only have, or constructed, maybe you can have so many. You get some that have a white one. But it doesn't specify it right in the rulebook, at least not that I saw. So I won't worry about that for right now. Alright. Airborne, Ambush, Tribute, and Loyalty. You have an Angel of Light. We have an Angel of Mercy, who has Airborne Ambush. At the start of your turn, you may put another good champion from your discard pile into play. So you're going to get a lot of effects like these that let you play things for free or cheaper, or get them out. So we have another Angelic Protector. Tribute, target, champion gains Unbreakable and Untargetable this turn. Avenging Angel. Airborne Blitz and Righteousness. So Righteousness lets it gain health when it attacks, does damage. Well, this card is expended, you cannot be attacked. So after you attack this, it helps prevent you from being attacked, so they're have to try and find other ways to deal with it. Such as this card, Banishment. So just banishes target champion. Now this is how you can get rid of these guys that have really high health, like 9, or defense, as 9 is going to take 9 to take it out. You just straight up banish it, but the player who's turning gets to draw a card. We have Brave Squires, so put a human token into play. Target champion gains Unbreakable and +5 attack this turn. So here's an example of one of the human tokens. So it doesn't have any of the symbols. It does say token champion. Just a 1/1 basic creature or champion. And then they have you get 4 of them in a deck. But then on the other side is you're going to have the demon token. And then you have also you're going to get 4 zombie tokens, which are also evil class. And you're going to get 4 wolf tokens, which are the wild. Because there's various things you'll create tokens. Alright, we have a Ceasefire. Draw 2 cards. Champions do not attack this turn. Courageous Soul. Ambush. When this card attacks, your champions get +2 for this attack this turn. Divine Judgment. Draw 2 cards, or if it's your turn, banish all champions. So this is essentially like a Wrath of God, except it doesn't destroy them, puts them in their bottom of your deck when you banish things. But it costs 1. Basically, you can clear the field, or you can draw 2 cards, depending on which way it works. So there's going to be a lot of stuff where you might only have like 1 or 2 champions out at a turn. Like, I don't think you're going to... Rarely you're ever going to amass a ton, and if you do, they're probably not going to last more than a turn or 2. When this champion... We have the Faithful Pegasus. When this champion attacks or blocks, one of your human champions may gain Airborne this turn, and attack or block with this card. Feint. Draw 2 cards, remove all attacking or blocking champions from battle, and prepare them. We have a Gold Dragon. Your good champions have Righteousness, so Righteous champions dealt damage. This controller gains that much health. We have a High King, who's unbanishable. Now, he has no attack, but he has Blitz, and you can just use him to banish target champion. So if you play him without having that loyalty, you have to wait a turn. But if you have the 2 loyalty, reveal 2 other cards, you can play that right away on the first turn. Inheritance of the Meek, draw 2 cards, or banish all non-token champions. If it is an opponent's turn, they draw a card. Inner Peace, gain 10 health, and if you have a yellow, you can recall it. Lord of the Arena. Blitz, Tribute, and or pay at the yellow. This card gains Unbreakable and +8 this turn. This card must be blocked if able. just a review on what his ally. It's his ally trigger when you play one card of a listed alignment. So when you first play this guy, he gets his Unbreakable and 8 for the turn. And then when you play a gold costed card, it's gold or yellow, he gets the ability again. We have a Noble Unicorn, which says Ambush and Tribute, draw a card. Priest of Kalnor, Tribute to gain 4 health, and then Loyalty. Target champion gains Unbreakable and Untargetable this turn. Priest of Angeline, Recycle, gain health. Rally the People. Put a human token into play. Your champions get +1 attack this turn, and you can recall it. Resurrection. Draw 2 cards. Or target champion in your discard pile is broken this turn, returns to play. I like how some of these more powerful events, the ones you have to pay for, have at least the option to draw 2 cards. So they're not just sitting in your hand like, well, I don't have any use to do this. Second ability. So if nothing else, you at least have a chance to always draw more cards. So it's a good mechanic there. We have Secret Legion. Draw 2 cards or put 6 human tokens into play. Your human champion gains Blitz till the end of turn. Now, we only have 4 tokens, so if you don't, you haven't bought another set that has more tokens, you just have to use something to sit there. But they're 1/1, so you can throw like a penny down and just count it as that. It's easy enough to remember. Standard Bearer. Ambush. Tribute 2. Put 2 human tokens into play. Your other good champions have +2 attack. The People's Champion. Unbanishable. Tribute and your ally ability. Put 2 human tokens into play. Thunderous. Another dragon. Unbanishable. Your other dragons have +5 and +5. Vital Mission. Banish target champion. Its controller gains health equal to its offense. If you were the champion's controller, draw 2 cards. Watchful Gargoyles. Airborne Ambush with Tribute to recycle it. A White Dragon. If you played your 1 gold good card this turn, recycle it. And our last one is the White Knight. Draw a card, Blitz, break, target evil champion. So that one's a little bit more limited. But he's also a 9/9. Alright, so that's our white cards. So let's jump into evil. So you see the white had lots of stuff had a bunch of stuff gaining health, banishing, and playing soldiers. So let's look at the evil, which are the red ones. So you have Evil Angel Champion. Loyalty 2, break all other champions. And we have an Apocalypse. You draw 2 cards. If it is your turn, break all champions. Army of the Apocalypse. Draw 2. Or if it is your turn, each player returns all champions in their discard pile without triggering loyalty or tribute abilities. Bitten. We have a zombie event. So this actually has a special event for class type. Draw 2 cards. Break target champion. The player whose turn it is puts a zombie token into play. So zombie tokens are 2/2s. Corpse Taker. You may return. It's a human champion. You may return target gold champion from your discard pile to your hand. Banish target card from any discard pile. Dark Assassin. Break target champion. Dark Knight. Unbreakable on your turn. It's a Vampire Knight. That's kind of fun. Dark Leader. Other human champions have +1 attack, are also evil. Put a human token into play. Demonic Breach. If it is your turn, put 3 demon tokens into play. Otherwise, put 2 demon tokens into play. Recall. When you call this card, lose 1 health. So there's a demon. They're 4/4s. So they're actually pretty powerful. You can put up to 3 of them, potentially. So that's actually pretty good. Drain Essence. Deal 9 damage to target champion, gain 9 health. Drinker of Blood. Unbreakable on your turn, another champion is broken. If this card is in play, gain 2 health. Each opponent loses 2 health. So there's lots of vampire abilities. There's zombies and necromancers. Final task. Draw 2 cards. Put a champion from any discard pile into play under your control. It gains Blitz this turn and break it at the end of turn. A Guilt Demon. Tribute, anger, when it attacks, you may banish target card in any discard pile. So I like the banishing of cards in the discard pile, because basically you're saying take a card from your discard and put it back in your deck. But it could also work the other direction if someone has a way to access pulling cards out of their discard pile. Like with some of these Apocalypse cards and stuff like that, that final task, it can actually negate that ability too by, rather than letting them get the chance of drawing it from their discard pile, I can put it back on the bottom of their deck. Infernal Gatekeeper. Tribute and or red. You may pay 1 health. If you do, put a demon token into play. An Inner Demon. Demon event. Draw 2 cards. Break target champion. The player who puts his turns puts a demon token into play. We have Medusa. Ambush. Loyalty 2. Break target champion. Murderous Necromancer, who's a human mage. Loyalty 2, put 3 zombie tokens into play. Break target champion, then put a zombie token into play under your control. Necromancer Lord. Loyalty 2, put target champion from any discard pile into play under your control. We have a Plague. Deal 1 damage to target player and to each champion they control. Draw a card. Recycle. It is your turn, break all champions. So it's also fun about this is because damage doesn't reset until the end of the turn. So if like during battle, during an attack, you could play, you play this, you could deal 1 damage and have everyone have 1 damage, and then they might not take them out or, banish them or break them. Sorry, might not break them, but it might weaken them enough that something else can take them out. Plentiful Dead. Put a zombie token into play. You may pay 1 health if you do recall. Soul Hunter. When this card is broken, deal 5 damage to target player. If this card is in your discard pile at the start of your turn, return it to play. This guy could really suck to fight against, because basically you have to break him, and then you have to banish him to get him out of the way. Or just banish him. Succubus. Tribute, draw a card. Loyalty Blitz. Banish target good champion. The Risen. Put 3 zombie tokens into play. Your evil champions gain Blitz, +1 attack, +1 defense. A Thrasher Demon. Break any champion damaged by this card. When this card attacks, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. I actually like the little effect on that. It's very cheap. He's a 1/1. But basically, it's kind of that fun thing of like your opponent has to decide, okay, so do I block him with something and it'll, when it attacks, becomes a 3/3. So do I block it and sacrifice something else to take it out, or do I just take the damage? So I take something out, it doesn't matter what I put in front of it, it's going to lose. But is it better to take 3 damage, or lose like a 9/9 to this guy? Fun little things like that. This guy's Breakthrough, which is like Magic Gathering's Trampling. So if he does damage past an enemy, he keeps going straight and does it to the player. When this card is broken, put 3 demon tokens into play. The Tri-Horror, I love it. Unquenchable Thirst. Banish X evil cards from your discard pile. Deal X +1 damage to target champion, then gain health. Vampire Lord. Unbreakable on your turn. When this card deals damage, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this card. Wither. Deal 3 damage to target champion and all other champions with the same name. Champions damage this card get -3 attack. Word of Summoning. Put a demon into play, recycle, and the last evil card is Zombie Apocalypse. Draw 2 cards. Break all champions and each player puts a zombie token into play for each champion in their discard pile. That's fun. Alright, up next, we're going to look at the green, which are the wild. So this would be more like your jungle nature themed characters. So you have a Bellowing Minotaur, Blitz and Breakthrough, Tribute. So it's like the black one had a lot of, or the red, my brain's going to keep going to magic for the colors. But the red evil ones had a lot of, putting zombie tokens or demon tokens into play, or sacrificing health or sacrificing stuff. I think the wild are going to have a lot more of these breakthrough. When your wild champion gets +2/+2 this turn, you can pay 1 to recall it. A Burrowing Worm. Breakthrough. This is 18/18, like right there, that huge guy. We have a Cave Troll, just has recall. There's some beefy stats. We have a Chomp, which is a dinosaur event. Deal 12 damage to target champion. Your dinosaur champions get +2/+2, so this one gets bonuses from dinosaurs. Fire Shaman. Deal 3 damage to target. A Fireball. Deal 3 damage to target, or pay 1 to deal 3 damage to target player on each champion they control. Flame Strike. Deal 8 damage. So a lot of straight fire damage. Flash Fire. Deal 2 damage to each champion and player, or pay 1 to draw 2 cards. Which is a little bit different, you know. Fork Lightning. Deal 5 damage to each of up to 2 targets. Hunting Raptors. Some more dinosaurs. Ambush, Loyalty 2 Blitz, and deal 4 damage to a target. Hurricane. Draw 2 cards. Or deal 9 damage to each target. Deal 9 damage to each champion. We have a Jungle Queen. Tribute, draw a card. Otherwise, your other wild champions have +1 attack and defense. You may play wild champions as if they had ambush. We have Kong, the wild giant ape champion. Tribute, deal 13 damage to target champion. These guys have some nice big beefy stuff, but they don't have the banishing and breaking champions that the other 2 colors had so far. Lash, deal 1 damage to target champion. If it gains breakthrough and +4 dealing to turn. The straight up breaking something or banishing something is better than doing a bunch of damage. But be able to do 9 and 12 damage is going to basically take out almost anything anyhow. We have Lightning Storm. Deal 6 damage, divide any number away amongst 6 targets. Like that. That could take out a lot more cards than just 1 break. Lurking Giant. Ambush. Anytime you can play an event. Mighty Blow. Draw 2 cards. Target champion gains Unbreakable and 10 attack this turn. The Alpha Pack. Blitz. Your other wild champions have +1/+1. Put 2 wolf tokens into play, so wolves are 2/2s. That's our 4th different token. Oh, we have a yellow card that got mixed in. We have Palace Guard. May banish target champion. We'll throw him back in there. I figured that was going to happen at least once while I was trying to sort these out. Pyromancer. Ambush. Tribute. Deal 4 damage to a target, or pay 1 to deal 4 damage to a target. Rage. Target champion gains Breakthrough and 4/4, or pay 1 to draw 2 cards. Raging T-Rex, a 12/10. Loyalty 2, draw 2 cards. This card must attack each turn if able. Rain of Fire, draw 2 cards, or choose 3 targets. Deal 3 damage to the first, 4 to the second, and 5 to the third. This artwork is crazy. I have to just say that. So we have another worm. We have Rampaging Worm, 1414. We get a Hydra. I love Hydras. Sea Hydra. Tribute, draw a card. At the end of each turn, put a 1/1 counter on this card for each point of damage it took this turn. Of a 10. Yeah, they better be able to take that guy out. Strafing Dragon. Airborne Ambush Blitz. Loyalty 2, deal 5 damage to a target. Surprising Attack. Draw a card. You may put a champion from your hand into play. I think you draw the card first. They have a Triceratops. Breakthrough and Tribute to draw a card. Wolf Companion. Target champion gets 2/2 recall. When this card leaves your discard pile, put a wolf token into play. Wolf's Call. Put 4 wolf tokens into play. Your wolf champions gain Blitz. And our final wild is Worm Hatchling. Breakthrough. Green. Put 2 1/1 counters on this card. Alright, so there's our green. So green has a lot of beefing up characters. And dealing lots of direct damage. Then finally, we have Sage, which is our blue color. So banish target player's discard pile and recycle or draw 2 cards. Ancient Chant, draw 2 cards. Recall, leave your discard pile, draw a card. We have a blue dragon. Draw a card, deal 2 damage to target, and pay loyalty. Deal 2 damage to a target. Ooh, a crystal golem. So we have some constructs. Ambush, untargetable. Break this card, draw 2 cards. So that's a neat effect too. So this thing can't be normally targeted, but you can choose to get rid of it to gain some extra cards. Deadly Raid. Draw 2 cards. Your champion gains unblockable and +2 this turn. Jing of the Sands. So new type. Tribute. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on this card. You can remove a counter to draw a card. So it's like sages are going to be smart, so they're going to gain a lot of the advantage of able to draw cards and recycle cards. We have Erase, draw 2 cards, return target champion to its owner's hand. Force Mage Apprentice. Deal 2 damage to a target, and you can prepare this card. Frost Giant. Expend all champions target player controls. So we've had stuff for banishing, we've had stuff for breaking, and then this one's going to do a lot more stuff of like manipulating where the cards are or when you can use them is what it looks like. Hasty Retreat. Return target attacking champion to its owner's hand. It was attacking you and it was unblocked. Its controller draws a card. Draw 2 cards. Ice Drake. Loyalty 2, expend all champion target player controls. So you're not getting rid of them off the table, but you're preventing them from being used. Juggernaut, another construct. Breakthrough Blitz, draw a card, unbreakable on your turn. The Keeper of Secrets. Blitz, recycle, banish a card from a target player's discard pile. We have Lying in Wait, draw 2 cards. If the champion is attacking alone, banish it. Memory Spirit. Tribute, you may return a target event card from your discard pile to your hand. Muse. At the start of your turn, you may draw a card. An Ogre Mercenary. Tribute, recycle. Psionic Assault. Target player discards 2 cards at the end of the turn. And that's the first time we've really seen a discard effect. Sea Titan. Targetable, or untargetable. Tribute, return target champion to its owner's hand. Spike Trap. Deal 5 damage to each attacking champion. So you guys have the mages, or like the mages and sorcerers, but they also have like the rogues and sneaky assassins and stuff, which is kind of fun. Standalone, draw 2 cards. Starting with you, each player chooses a champion they control, break all other champions. We have a Steel Golem, who's untargetable and has Blitz. 13/13. Thought Plucker, it's an Imp. Tribute Anger. When this card damages a player, that player discards a card and you draw a card. Time Bender. Ambush Loyalty. Banish target 0 champion. Return target champion to its owner's hand. Time Walker. Loyalty 2. Return all other champions to their owner's hands. Transform. Draw 2 cards. Banish target champion, even if it is unbanishable. That champion puts a wolf token into play. So it's kind of fun. Because it actually it's not a blue one though. It'd still be the green one though, unfortunately. We have turn. Gain control of target champion this turn. Prepare it. It has Blitz this turn. Or if it is your turn, gain control of target champion. Warrior Golem. Loyalty 2 Blitz. And this card goes to your discard pile. Recycle. Wave of Transformation. Draw 2 cards. Banish all champions, even unbanishable ones. For each champion banished this way, its controller puts a wolf token into play. And the last card we have is the Winter Fairy. Airborne Tribute, draw a card. When this card damages an opponent and or is broken, draw a card. Alright, so that's our base game for the Epic card game. Yeah, so the neat mechanics of it with having every card either be 0 cost or 1 cost, having basically 1 resource to play every turn. And then also the unique thing of, do I use it to play a brand new card, or do I use it to spend an ability? Plus lots of the 1 cost events having draw 2 cards or an effect, which is really fun. Just because that way, like, you're not stuck with a bunch of cards. Well, it doesn't make sense for me to banish, everything if I'm winning, so I can instead just draw 2 cards. So it keeps cards from being as useless. But it also seems like there's a lot of stuff where your playing cards are going to get broken or banished and being redone, and getting rid of stuff and rotating things, which I think would be very different than like Magic the Gathering, whereas there can be times when someone can like, oh, I need this 1 card out to do this combo, and it could sit there forever and just let them do it if you don't have a way to deal with it. Because they don't ever have to attack or block with it, so it could just sit there and do whatever it needs to do to fuel their combos in their deck. In this game, there's a lot more stuff in each color. It seems like each alignment has a way to deal with stuff that's just sitting around. So if you have someone sitting around doing some special effect, you have ways to get rid of it, even if it's temporary. But yeah, that's the Epic base game. So check out the other videos I'll do for the other sets. See you guys later. Bye.